Hi there, so this video is about The Warrior in the Blood by McDermid. I had to read this book for my representations of crime module at uni. I really enjoyed it. It was such a gripping book. It's definitely one of my new favourite books that I've read recently, so that's always a good sign. What I liked about the book is it's very clever plot lines. McDermid was really clever when she worked out how to plot her book and where it's going to go, because essentially the reader knows almost instantaneously who the criminal is. So you have that storyline opening up, you have the storyline of the criminal profiler trying to work out who the criminal is opening up. So essentially you just have a few different parallel storylines, and the book switches between the two, and they're all going at the same time, and then eventually they all kind of smush and merge, and you get the climax of the novel. And I think that's very clever plotting, because that means in a crime book the reader feels slightly superior to the detectives and the criminal profilers and the members of the police force, and that I quite like that aspect of a crime novel, because it engages the reader, because they're like, well, I know this has happened, but how are they going to find out this has happened? What's going to reveal this fact to them? I just think it's a really good way of writing a crime book. Obviously, I'm not saying it's the only way that's good, but personally, I just feel that it works very, very well. I think another thing that makes that work so well is the fact that McDermid's characters are so well written. They seem like real people. They're whole, three-dimensional individuals, and McDermid isn't afraid to endanger or kill or vilify her characters, which again makes them seem like real people. So they're not just creations on paper, and they're not just names and all that kind of stuff. They are meant to be individuals. They are meant to be people, and therefore they have to be at the same risks that normal people do, and I think that's very, very good. And McDermid isn't afraid to touch on difficult topics. So her book is quite explicit. There are some very gratuitous scenes of violence. If there are physical injuries, she's very like, this is how it is, and she doesn't try and hide things away. She, is very, very explicit, very true, and I think that's really good in a crime book, because obviously a lot of crime stuff, they try and, things like Midsummer Murders, they always, there's a dead body, but there's no blood, and all that kind of stuff, whereas McDermid it's very gritty, and it's very, very real, and I don't know, I just really like it. I think it works really, really well. Something else I really enjoyed throughout the book was the discussion that arose from the book, basically about how women are treated in the police force. And obviously, as someone who's interested in gender, I found that very interesting. And I think it was very real. So they talk about how women who are higher up basically don't get the same respect as men who are higher up. One of the main detectives in the book shows that really, really well. She starts in a new department, and basically everyone takes the piss out of her, and they think that they can be soft and they cannot do any work because she is female. So she basically comes in and tells them that that's a load of shit, and she's as good as any man who's doing the same job as her, which is really awesome to see. And there's also the aspect of credibility, which I guess comes from the same kind of thing, but there's a female who's training to be a criminal profiler within a group, and it's mainly men, and basically her ideas get shot down very, very quickly, and they're like, oh, well done, you tried really well, but that's a bit out there, let's not worry about that, let's just do our normal not boring because they're criminal profilers, but standard work. And then it turns out that they should have given her a lot more credibility than they did. And yeah, I think it's really interesting to see that aspect of the way that obviously this doesn't just happen in the police force, it happens in loads of different jobs, but I think it's very interesting to see it in something like the police that a lot of people recognise as a public sector job. The police are very integral to society, especially in the UK. We have a quite a prominent police force. I know there's the same policeman walks around Falmouth, where I'm living at the moment, all the time, and he stops and chats to all the residents, he chats to the students, he stops for photographs with tourists. So the police in the UK have quite a presence, whether you like that or not, and I'm not trying to get into debate here whether the police right or wrong and all that kind of stuff. I'm just, you know, the book's set in Britain, so the police are very visible here, and I think it's really interesting to address a topic in a mainstream book that got turned into a television programme that discusses this kind of stuff. I haven't seen the television programme myself. I've heard it differs quite a lot from the book, so we'll see. Another way that they discuss female presence in the police force is the idea of sleeping your way up the ranks. While this doesn't happen in the book, the idea is definitely there that some of these women who have got, you know, high level jobs, that perhaps they achieved it with sleeping with people. I mean, they didn't in the book, and obviously that does happen. That happens in any job, and it's a topic that I'm torn on, because obviously women do have to fight much harder generally to get promotions and get to higher level positions, but I personally don't think sleeping your way up the ladder is the right way to do it, because if you were, essentially I think if you get a promotion, you should get a promotion on your merit of your work. But I understand that women have a hard time and women need to work harder or go above and beyond to try and get these promotions. So yeah, again, I feel like I've opened up a load of cans of worms in this video. I'm not trying to start any debates or anything like that. I mean, if you want to ask questions and if you want to discuss stuff with me, that's totally fine, but I'm not trying to vilify anybody in this video. Yeah, so basically the book was great. I couldn't put it down. It's sort of a 550-600 page book, and I read it in about 2 days. So yeah, I really loved the book, and it is a series, and maybe when I finish uni and I have some time to myself to just read books for fun, that would be nice. Maybe I'll read some more of McDermid's books. We'll see. So yeah, that's the end of the book review. I would just like to apologise for being sat in my bed doing this video. I can't work the heating in my flat. So I'm 23 and I'm meant to be an adult, and I'm freezing cold and I can't work my heating, so I'm sat in my bed wearing a hat to try and warm myself up. So I apologise for being in my bed. Hopefully in the next video I will not be in my bed, because either it will be warmer or my friends have shown me how to use my heating. They're currently all asleep, so I can't get them to come in and help me warm my room up. So yeah, awesome. I will hopefully make another video fairly soon. I've got a little break from university at the moment, and then when I go back to my next lot of lectures, my timetable's reduced quite a lot because it's third year dissertation and all that jazz. So yeah, hopefully you will see my face again very soon, and if you don't want to, tough shit basically. Bye!